So today is the 31st. Happy Halloween. And this is the side of police evidence. Um, this is one of the cameras on the post you see there. Um, I'm sure there's a camera behind the fence. But, I mean, this is my spot, and I just arrived to it. And I have trash in my hand, and this trash came from the city's property over there. And the hot dog thing came from the street halfway down the block. Uh, but this is my area that I'm protesting in. And I cannot begin to imagine why City Manager Sarah Medary, if I pronounce that wrong, whichever of the two times, I'll figure out the correct one, without any transparency, without any support or knowledge of anybody, including myself, sign a piece of paper 24 hours ago, or authorize the signature of a piece of paper 24 hours ago, and the dispatching of two police officers to meet me after court back at the property to hand me this demand notice. And the demand notice was very unconstitutional. It was very violating state statutes and mandates. And it was very sloppily done. And all that had to happen was 72 hours notice and a process for appealing within that 72 hours. And the document could have been reasonably constitutional. Because time, place, and manner, yeah, there's a possibility, but realistically, no. So, for safety purposes and the security of this 125 North Garfield building that was established through photographs I will post in the comments, and it being open access and not set back uh, 500 feet with the same buzzer they have, except it would operate in the same way that the property retrieval for homeless property acts, where there's just a buzzer on a pole in the middle of nowhere. And it could be a buzzer on a pole right here at the edge of the property, right there, right at the sidewalk. It could be literally. So they replaced me with this planter. That was first free speech violation. They just picked up and threw a planter in. That the lavender that's in there, I believe one of the girls planted, not them. They fenced off the area that I was in, arrested me for the first time ever for creating a hazard. 258 days of straight protest after a break when they gave us a camp and then took it back for lies from Doug Mozan, the lieutenant liaison from the city of Eugene that handled that. So I didn't do anything. I haven't done anything, and I just took the trash off the bike where I had it. I haven't done anything. The landscapers did come today. They get landscaping from Rexius. They cut the budgets, in fact, for Green Hill, which comes out of the police budget. But somehow Rexius gets paid to keep this fine grass fine, which I am going to now move to, this fine grass. Um, to come and tell me when I just got out of court and I just got done with charges from your guys that I've already gotten the first two dismissed, one not guilty finding on a trespass, and this is just from Pizzola and Harris, and two trespasses that absolutely never should have existed, and I shouldn't even know these guys because we were squatting on property in Eugene, Oregon. and the landlord is aware of squatters that have been there in the past, and he's notified them properly. And these two cops, Harris and Pizzola, stroll in one day and just say, "Yeah, you have to leave." And I say, "No, this is adverse possession. I don't know what you're talking about. You need to talk to whoever you need to, your supervisors, because I've already talked to the lawyers, and I already knew this before it started. Uh, this is a sheriff's thing and a property owner thing. This isn't a letter of trespass on file thing, unless you caught us like entering the property 6.5 years ago. But if you didn't, then it's not a trespass thing. But this lawn, First Amendment does not trump this lawn, at least for a period of time that we can rotate and not have people sitting in the exact same spot every day, because I'll do my best, just like I did in 2018 with the butterfly lot. I wouldn't allow people to occupy the space that Saturday Market had to go in. And here I am again picking up your trash, not mine. I didn't have an awesome Otis Spunkmeyer blueberry muffin. I wish I knew who did, because I would have asked for one. Used to get them at La Quinta every morning when I actually had a. And I'm only doing this right now because I'm walking around, because I can't leave trash. It's not me. All right, this is going into the yellow bag that's on the side of my tent, which I almost stuck this into and then said, no, you need to video this. I sweep up around my tent before the Rexius guys come with my pseudo broom. It's a whole thing of wormwood cane on a broom that was really greasy and got cut down by me. The broom, not the wormwood. The wormwood was gifted by one of the original advocates from before me and was at Occupy and Sleeps. This has been going on in Eugene, Oregon for way too long. So I've never been. He would have been better off asking me for 72 hours and said, "You're interrupting the flag," and see if I would have just left without creating something absolute. Sarah Medary, I don't even know what you're thinking. And I know that it's not Christy Hammond's co-signature on that for you, so I don't know what it is that's going on. Drop my soda, that's gonna explode. All right. Yeah, I barely parked my bike, and the officers are standing here to harass me, returning from court for likely my favorite charges. But this morning, I swept everything like I do every Monday morning, because Rexius is coming, and I make sure all the leaves are on the lawn so they can get to them and not blow them further around or into the bushes. And this morning, somebody handed me this yesterday, and I put it up because Halloween's, to me, like the only real holiday. It's not yes. Do you sell an excessive amount of candy, and maybe even some cards to a level? But it's not a Hallmark holiday that was created for sales. It's a legit holiday within the annals of time and for witchy reasons, I guess. So I find it fun, though I don't like the slutty dressing for guys and girls on the night. My dressing costume. I was always a pizza, and I always won costume contests. Well, I had a $700 handmade pizza costume from Las Vegas, so it was a little different. But yeah, Halloween is cool with me. Always has been. I've dressed up as girls in full gown. I've dressed up as uh, the pizza slice costume countless times. My mom had us as clowns as kids all of the time. Like, she did the face painting, and she did the hair, and she did everything. Profile pictures on Facebook probably have that, or my just pictures on Facebook. But yeah, Veterans Week coming up. I don't understand what the management of Eugene is thinking. First and foremost, they have their city attorney, not the former presiding judge or the current presiding judge. They have their city attorney read out what the Boise versus Martin versus Boise decision means to the public and the League of Oregon Cities and everybody else. Yet, explain to me how he's only one side of the judicial coin. I'm the other. I say he's reading it wrong. Shouldn't a judge from the municipal court or the circuit court, if somebody were to appeal one, um, make that decision? I don't understand. Um, can I switch this around while I'm talking? No. All right, I guess that's all I have to say. And that was a, 10-minute video? Oh, that's a long time. Bye. Eric Jackson signing out in Eugene, Oregon, in front of police evidence, where you can clearly see, like, all right, boys and girls, for the purposes of just logical thinking. If I were camping here, and this is the building they're worried about securing and closing the outside space for, which they're going to have to put a fence up. Like, they're going to have to put a fence up the entire length of this and maybe just leave the parking lot open and close it when the building's not in public operation. Because they can't just leave this open and think that they can close it for concerns for security of me, because that's just bizarre. Like, 6 years in this town doing this, and that's just straight up bizarre. Um, There's not a single officer in there that has any fear of me. Staff might, public might, but not any of the sworn officers that have any knowledge of me, and with all the equipment that they have and the absolutely no weapons I have except like probably a butter knife at this point, because Public Works, who I'm protesting, and these workers come out this gate and go in this gate every day from Public Works. Every day. So, though this is police evidence, you're going to notice, and now make it more than 10 minutes, you're going to notice that Public Works comes out this gate. And this isn't like trying to be a First Amendment audit or anything of the sort. This is just, to me, straight stupid on the procedure of what the city believes in such grandiosity, I believe the word is their right. The police gate, if you can see, there's another barbed wire fence around that. And this is all Public Works access. And it's accessed by the city workers all day, every day, onto the public property. So this is one fence, goes back to Public Works. There's a whole nother fence for police evidence. Then there's this big building. And there are a couple of cameras, but most of the cameras are behind the fence, which is smart, because then you don't have to deal with what's going on in public spaces, because it's just bushes. As a camera installer, I know those things. So you do have a camera, however, on the adjacent, from here to the railroad tracks, 2 blocks up, is all city property. Everything you see in the background is city property. Anything you can take a glimpse of in this picture on this side of the road is city property. But right above the T-Mobile leased property from the city to T-Mobile and whoever's a carrier now, there is a camera, and you can see the camera on the short pole, not the tall pole, and definitely not the big tall pole, but the intermediary pole that is right above the power equipment that shows. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, but I am peaceful, I am quiet, I am a vigil, I leave, I come back, my tent is my protest, the other stuff around it is my personal property that sometimes comes with me and sometimes stays behind. If it gets stolen, it's on me, it's not on them. I don't call them up and say, hey, your property caused this. But one, Officer Pizzola should have left me alone in the right-of-way on what they now lease out to T-Mobile. Maybe I would have gotten cancer from the pole. But no, I didn't even get headaches from the pole, so I don't think the pole does anything to what's directly below it. I think it casts out. But this property, they put up the secondary fence where there's no barbed wire, and you can see that it's clearly temporary fence. Oh, there you go. There's a good temporary fence thing. And is it even attached to the bottom one? It's attached. So the top one is attached well. The bottom one is funny. But the city, and I heard from PGW, whatever it is, that the city, in fact, had completely blocked him from getting access to his case that he needs to get to, until they told him, I guess, last week to just push the fence back out of his way and just leave it in place to keep me out. Well, that could be one of my batteries that was full, so we'll see if it works, because all my trash was thrown away except for one bag and one box. We had Red and Andy over here. This should be a two-part video. I should break it into two. But this is ridiculous. They just closed public spaces as ridiculousness against my persistence, because they can't handle my persistence. They know they're violating federal standing in the Martin Boise case, and I guess I'm going to have to take them to court on it again. And I'll add this into it, because this is absolutely ridiculous. I put the word out to some people, but I'm now about to put the word out to all people that this is ridiculous. So I was in a relatively safe space that, from the other side, yeah, you could run me over pretty easy. From this side, if you went up the curb, you'd hit the tree would do something, but I was here protesting the people that come in the gate and pass this sidewalk often are the people that work at Public Works, not the officers. The officers don't walk the sidewalk. I don't know that any of them have ever, other than getting a call. So if there's a call around the corner at Public Works, they'll walk it rather than outside, rather than inside, because it's prettier, and they have the attack position of you're not getting through the fence around the property. The fence goes around the property. Clearly, we know, for argument's sake, that if anybody of burglar capability or criminal deviant thinking, one, is never going to go in from where I'm sitting and where I'm protesting or anything of the sort for entering the space of the ECU, the Evidence Control Unit, during off hours. They're just going to sit right here, or maybe sit at the other side where they just put all the trailers, sit on top of one of the trailers with binoculars and time everything and check everything out, and they'll freaking figure it out. And they'll go over the fence, break two posts, nobody's looking back here in a corner. They'll go up a freaking, I don't know, cat burglar? Yeah, they go up the freaking drainage pipe for the roof water, and they go in the air vents in the ceiling, like just like my pizza place. Like when my pizza place got robbed, it got robbed through my oven hood. They came right down after they ripped the, what is, I guess got to be a 3.5-foot round hole. This is the other parts of the property that they show you that are all corned off. This is corned off. They have a city code that is 4.707, I think, which is violating the blocking the sidewalk public way, which they just write me for criminal disorderly. There's a municipal ordinance for it as well, a violation. And the ordinance reads, except for protesting or picketing. Well, the reality is, I'm not going to do anything except move, if I do at all, if I don't get the appeal or the injunction in the next 48 hours. So they'd have to continue the fence up to this fence line, quite frankly. And they could have the button out here. They could have the button halfway across the property at Public Works. Public Works has their button for us all the way over here. So this is all Public Works property at Eugene, Oregon's central land grab developed public services. One trash can clearly controlled by Eugene for the yellow can inserts, not the black ones or silverish clear ones that LTD has at that bus stop. there is a bus stop there. But, like, no, that's not them. Or is it? No, that's not them. Oh, yeah, that is. So that's their building. That's the back of it. Look at all those skylights. Like, I'm a threat. 6 years, I haven't threatened anybody. Ever here. Ever. I'm too old for it. I'm 57. But this is high trafficked, high speed Roosevelt Boulevard, which has 10 times more traffic, which is great for protesting, but not for safety. When you're in a controversial level of protesting, and everybody in the powers that be say you're illegal, whatever that may mean to each of them. But frankly, that's just as good a lawn to me. Just as good a lawn. And they'd have to run up on the lawn and make noise unless they went up the ramp to run me over. So I'm down with that.